What does it mean to fling open the gates? That those who are captives might know freedom, new ways of being. What does it mean for us as people to challenge the captivity that exists not only with prison doors, but in this fence that is funneling people into what is called the funnel of death in the Southwest? What does it mean for us to move beyond this captivity or this way of responding to immigration? What does it mean for us to raise our voices alongside others who are working for change in Durban? To hold our leaders accountable when it comes to environmental issues? To say God is here with us, calling us to a new way of being and a new vision. And all along the way, we point to this one who is greater than us. The prophet didn't say, I'm God. The prophet said, the Spirit of the Lord, of the Holy, is upon me, is anointed. Mary didn't consider herself to be God, but to be a vessel of the Holy. And John the Baptizer in today's gospel continued to point people beyond, saying, I am not the Messiah. I'm not Elijah. I'm not even the great prophet. I am one crying in the wilderness, trying to get people to pay attention, to see a new way of being. This Advent, what is one way that you are going to bear God into the world? What is one way that you are going to hear the promise, the song of Mary, and let it resonate inside of you? In your work, in your living? And perhaps we often set up these big challenges, taking on the environment, taking on this proposed constitutional amendment on marriage. We put out these big challenges for ourselves, but what about the smaller ways that we embody or bear God? I'm mindful of a letter that my mom got as a fourth grade teacher. Probably 15 years after she had had a student, she got a letter from a young woman saying, Mrs. Frosley, I want you to know that I am now a teacher in Hawaii, working with children who are struggling with their English. And I'm mindful of a book that you had us read, and how this shaped my life and challenged me to be a better student. And for the ways that you showed your care to students, I just want to say thank you. It was a simple act in teaching that my mom engaged in. But for that young girl, she, in my mind, saw a glimpse of the holy, of something that brought new life and promise. And now she carries that forth in her work, in her work. Who are we in what we do? In those simple ways, perhaps reading a book, perhaps taking a little extra time for the children in our lives or in our communities, perhaps visiting that one person who otherwise might feel very alone or isolated this holiday season. Theotokos, the God-bearer. People here at Calvary, the Spirit of the Lord is upon you to proclaim the year, the vision of our God. The question I leave you with is how? How this day will you bear God? Thanks be, perhaps, and maybe, and yes.